Hello, everyone. So it's an afternoon, a late afternoon for me, middle of the day for you. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join me. And I'm here with Jana Berengel and Berengel. Let me say it correctly. Berengel. She taught me a trick and said bear and angel, Berengel. Because I like to pronounce it right. I think it's the teacher in me. I want to make sure I get it right. But thank you for helping me with that. I put it down phonetically. I'm so glad you're here. This is exciting. How are you?
I'm great. Yeah, it's a beautiful day living in Vancouver. You know, you get used to the rain and you don't want to get used to it, but you do. And today it's gorgeous. The sun, I'm sitting in front of a window and it's beautiful.
The same with me. And I was like, oh, the lighting's showing all of me. Oh my. When it was coming in, I didn't need any artificial lighting. I have quite a bit of natural lighting coming in. So I just wanted to tell you that we have friends that are here with us. They're listening and watching. And if you want to see what they're saying, there's a comment box up in the right-hand corner. But after we're finished talking, I'll highlight and it'll come across the screen and we can say hi and they'll show you some love and tell you how much they like you and it's a good thing. It's a good thing to end with.
Okay, that sounds nice.
All right. So I'm excited just to hear about your career journey. Like how you got to where you are. I was doing my research and I'm like, wow, you're like a pretty talented girl, singing, dancing, acting.
Thanks.
You're
Well, I think
welcome.
I started pretty average, like everybody else. You know, you go to dance class, you growing up. Actually, when I was 5, I saw the Nutcracker ballet, and that's what did it for me. And so I remember going into my parents' kitchen and being very clear that that's what I wanted to do. Put me
Mhm.
in dance class. And so they put me in the local ballet school, and we didn't grow up with much, and so I had some hand-me-down bright fire engine red tights and leotard, but I didn't care. No, I was going to that dance class, and
That's
so that was it.
cute.
I just kind of took off from there.
So so how old were you, you think? About
I
what,
was
like,
five.
grades?
I was
Oh, you were
five.
5.
Mhm.
So, it's funny that you said it was, the Nutcracker because I hear that often from people that especially girls, it inspires them or women. So, that's cool. I wonder we should do a poll and see how many people that are, dancers now have been inspired by that play. That would be kinda cool. I'm gonna ask my
Good
students
idea.
actually that. I have quite a
That's a
few
good
dancers.
idea.
All right, so then okay, so now did you go to beyond that? Like, did you do anything professional, like a professional school of art or a group or
I I started working right out of high school, so
oh, lucky you.
I didn't know that it was actually something that you could do as a living. And so, you know how family is always asking, "What are you going to do with your life?" And what are you going to do when you go to school? Both my
Mhm.
parents. My mom's a teacher and my dad's a social worker, and they both went to university, and yes, and so they very much were expecting I'd probably go along the same route, and my brother did, and he got his PhD, so he's a doctor of geography, and
Oh.
um, cookie, yeah, and I sing and dance, so that was just my I was just my path, and my parents are fantastic, and they allowed me to pursue it. You know, I went to my first audition, and I got it was for cruise ship, and so I thought, oh, I kind of like this. I'm gonna see if I can keep doing this, and I did.
Now, how about the singing? I know the Nutcracker is an inspiration for dancing, but I mean, we all can't be singers. Do you know what I mean? And you are. And
Yeah.
so I know that you can go to school, but you have to have some like talent. Did you discover that or did you know?
Um, have you ever been with a little girl and you put on Frozen, you're in the car or it doesn't matter where you are, and you put on whatever the
Yeah.
Encanto song of the day is,
Yes.
and they will belt it out. It just
Yes.
comes from within. It comes from heart and soul, and I think it really is true. You can do whatever you want to do in this world if you have enough passion to want to do it.
I
And
love that.
I think I just had enough passion that I just kept learning, kept going to classes, kept asking for more classes, kept being inspired by amazing people, and failed a lot. I was told I was flat a lot.
Oh,
Um, Well, I mean, criticism is part of life and it's part of how
Sure,
you
sure.
grow. And so I never actually really took it as a bad or a thing or a negative. I just thought, okay, I got to fix that. And so,
Okay.
and I would. But
That's a good.
the biggest thing about singing for me is I am quite deaf. I'm very, very hard of hearing, and I wear hearing aids. And so I didn't know that I was losing my hearing until I was a teenager. Right, that's when it really started to get substantial. And so I'd be in dance class, and I'm looking around, and all the girls are doing these turns, and I'd go into do a pirouette, and I just so I was like, what the hell's going on? And anyway, and so there was that, and then I would go to sing a song, and they would say, Jana, you're flat. You're under the note. You're really flat. It's like, well, that's what I hear, but turns out I was losing my hearing, and
Mm.
so it was a different journey for me. I had to learn singing through feel, through where it feels right in your voice. So I think because I come from a dance background, I was able to feel more of where the sound is supposed to originate from, how it's supposed to form, and then how it's supposed to come out. So it was a bit of a different journey for me.
That's actually amazing. So I love that. That's very inspiring in and of itself. So I remember years ago, many years ago when I was young, there was a ballerina and she I think she completely had no hearing. And this is years ago. She wound up being Miss America and she danced the most gorgeous dance. And that's what she said. She felt all of it. She could feel it. And when you were sitting here telling me that, I was wondering if you're going to say it, and then you did. That's pretty amazing. That's like amazing in and of itself. I love that. Oh my goodness. So I think you're selling yourself short. You're saying, "Oh, like every little girl that wants to sing and dance." I don't know. I think there's got to be something inside of you. I'm going to share a few pictures and we're going to get real small, but that's okay. We're going to come back. Close your eyes, people, if you get where to go. So you've done some amazing things. Can you tell us like what's going on here in this beautiful? You look beautiful here. This beautiful
Oh, thanks.
photo.
So this was from a show I did with a group called the Agency Singers,
Yes.
and it was a group of friends that got together, and we just wanted to sing pop songs and have fun, and go down to the local pub and whatever and belt it out. And this was actually at a local pub, and it was my girlfriend in the back, and we were just having a blast, and we just you want to make your own way in the world, and you want to try things out, and I think we were singing. I think this was a Gaga song or something at the time. And anyway, it was a lot of fun. So that's from that.
There's actual videos of you, I think, with these girls singing on YouTube. I found some like clips or things.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I kinda like in Andrew's Sisters, I thought somebody said something like that along the way. Even at one point, I feel like you had sort of a costumey kind of outfit on what that I saw.
Many, 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 many costumes, many outfits on. So then we kind of branched off and we did like a 1940s glamour girls, and then we do speakeasies. Well, we do the speakeasy sweeties, which is all set in like Brooklyn in 1920s. And so for the whole show, we do flapper girl accents, and we teach people the Charleston, and it's very fun. It's very interactive. It's very crowd pleasing, and we have a great time too. And we've started incorporating some modern songs, but with the speakeasy twist. And a lot of people like that. Well, we like that. It's a lot of fun. But
How
just
long
talking in the New York accent is a lot of fun
I
too.
love it. It reminds me of Guys and Dolls, like, you know how they have that and yes. Now, I have a question. How long have you been doing that? How long have you been together?
We've been together for 10 years.
Oh my gosh. So that in itself is wonderful. And then it sounds like it's so much fun. And I was just saying today to one of my friends, we've been friends forever. I'm like, people have to find their passion. And when it starts to become more than like I don't ever want it to be a job, you have to have like joy in it too, especially in something like this. I was just saying it. So it sounds like you're having a good time. I'm a bit jealous. Now, I'm really jealous of this. Look at this.
uh, Yes, Michael. He's lovely. I've worked with him a few times, but this one in particular was for the closing ceremonies of the 2010 Olympics. and it was here in Vancouver, and it was a fantastic experience because the whole place was it was in BC Place Stadium, which I believe houses 60,000 people or somewhere around there,
A lot.
and we got to do this segment of the closing ceremony. And the rehearsal was great. The whole production staff was fantastic. And Michael himself was really, really lovely. He was actually quite a bit of a chatterbox. He seemed like he was a little anxious himself. He wanted to
Right,
make sure it
right.
went well. We all wanted to make sure it went well, but it did. It went great. And it was a lot of fun.
I'm really jealous now for real. I love him. He's amazing. He's so amazing. And I remember seeing an interview once when he started to talk about his son and some, scary things that happened and he got all teared up and emotional. So that made you like love him even more. And then he belted out a song 2 seconds later. So he's like a great, great energy, great guy to like see in concert. There you are. There you are. That is so wonderful. How did something like that happen?
Well, there was an audition. There was an open call audition, and so you're in a sea of girls, all.
And you
Um,
got it.
well, you just have to give it your all and
Yeah.
shine your brightest sparkle you can do, and hope that you stand out. And that day, I just happened to stand out.
So you also have like some well, we have a lot of Hallmark fans here, and you've been in I think three that I counted, and I put a question mark by it because it could be more. Three that I know of Hallmark movies. One of them I think was the most recent one. It was a Christmas one, and it was with Kimberly Susted, who I love. Lights, Camera, Christmas, and it was funny because Callie, do you know who Callie who plays Peg? She was in it too. Did you cross paths?
No, we weren't there on the
No.
same day. No, I was there on actually the very last day of filming, which
Okay.
was great. Everyone was in a fantastic mood, and
Right, right,
actually
right.
scene was the very last scene to be shot. So there's a little bit of pressure because they're all like, "We want to wrap this up. We've had a really great time, but let's get this done." And but we did. We got it all done, and everybody was in a fantastic mood. But no, I didn't see her, and I thought, well, that would have been cool.
I know that's so
Next,
neat. I was like, oh, I wonder if there, you know what? You can't help that though, especially where you're located. A lot of paths cross, but they kind of don't. Like, you know what I mean? You wipe on the same projects, and sometimes you do or you don't see each
yeah,
other. Now, I chose this picture because it's so different. Like this, everything else has been upbeat and exciting. And then this is a bit of drama here. And I want you to share what is going on in this professional still. What
okay, so
happened?
this was from a what you call it? It's like a student film, like a short student film, and so
Yes,
this was
shorts. Yes.
a passion project, and I was kidnapped and attacked, and that basically is it. There's not
That's it.
much more to it.
No,
Kidnapped
that's
and attacked.
okay. So I like it. So yeah, I often see like a lot of these shorts are listed like in your biography or when we're researching and whatnot, and some we can see and some we cannot. Is this out there? Like, would we be able to Google it and find like the little
Yeah, I
movie
believe
in the
so.
movie?
I
Okay,
believe it is. I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm quite
okay.
sure that it's out there.
I thought it would be interesting. You don't know. After we get done interviewing, people send me messages. Where can I find this? Where can I find that? Because they get excited. I'm gonna remove this for a minute so we could see our faces again. They could see your lovely face. They'll ask me all this, so that's why I like to tell them. I can direct them to it. Sometimes I'll add the link in the description. So okay, so you have this wonderful journey, and now here we are. Someone had this question, and this is my question for you. Oh, wrong one. Right here. Martha wants to know, how did you get the part in Rise of the Pink Ladies? Tell us this wonderful story.
Well, hi, Martha. So my agent sent me the audition,
Mhm.
but actually I auditioned for a few roles, quite a few roles, and
Okay.
and the first role that I auditioned for, which I understand why I didn't get, was for McGee. So I think when they were casting the net for the show, they really wanted to see everybody, everything that was out there. And especially if they were seeing me from McGee, then they were looking at everything. And then they were like, actually, I think she's probably a housewife. And yes, I am. I just love my role of Ruth. She's fantastic. She gets all these lovely, salacious lines, and she was a lot of fun to play. But so when we do the audition, though, we had to. It was actually during COVID. Like a lot of these stuff is during COVID, and so we have to audition at home. Like it used to be, you would go into the
Hmm.
studio, and it's the norm to audition at home. And so we had to do the scenes, and then we had to do a little like self kind of interview, like tell us about yourself a little bit. And
Hmm.
then we had to sing songs. And the song that they asked us to sing the second time, the first time I could pick whatever I wanted. The second
Hmm.
time they had us sing Cindy Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And so
Oh.
we had to sing that. Um, but yeah, and then when they said, and then when they were interested, they said, send us more stuff. What else do you have? What other videos do you have? And they because it was COVID and they couldn't see us in person,
Right,
just other
right.
they were like, give us everything you got. We want to make sure we're making the right decision. So I was just like, well, here's everything I got. Like,
Yeah,
go
I
to the
loved it. I think I saw you dancing. You were doing like some kind of a dance routine, and it was I find it on Facebook. I go everywhere to look. And you were spinning around and you were in the camera and you said it was for your students. So are you a dance teacher?
I am a dance teacher. Yeah. So my
Wonderful.
regular bread and butter is teaching dance. But
Okay.
also, more than that, they keep me young and in shape, which is great. They inspire me more than anything. And during COVID, it was really, really hard to
Yeah.
continue dance classes, especially to do something to this tiny little screen
Yes.
and you inspire, especially through movement, when a lot of it is it's just a silent energy that's shared physically when you're in the room with someone, and so not
Yeah.
having that really difficult. But we were able to make it work, and I think what you're referring to is one of those classes.
And I was kind of questioning it because we have young dancers in our family and the kitchen. My sister has this big kitchen, and we laugh because that's all that ever happens in the kitchen. We say is dancing because she doesn't cook. So they would hook up the video, I mean the camera, and then the girls would take their dance lessons, and we'd have to dance behind them to give them
That's
some of that energy. I know what you're saying. So that's really cool though, because now you've got all these little things that are out there. Now people are loving you, and so now they're looking up all your stuff. Maybe you'll get
yeah.
even more. You know what? You're still teaching dance classes right now?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, so your students must be so proud of you. They must be
And
so
I'm proud of them.
excited. I know,
Well,
but that's really
symbiotic. Symbiotic.
yeah.
Like I get to see them accomplish amazing things. Last year, my students were in the provincials and they did fantastic. They got to dance on the big stage, and their little hearts were just soaring. And I was just so incredibly proud. And so it definitely goes both ways. To share your life and share your journey is pretty amazing.
This weekend coming up, is there some kind of dance competition going on this weekend, right?
So the competitions go. There's a season of competitions, and they kind of
Right.
go for about 4 months, I'd say. Everything
Okay.
kind of ends in June when the year-end shows are. So once the
Okay.
year-end shows wrap up, the competitions are generally done. We've already had our dance competitions, but there are more coming up. Yeah, there's lots more coming up.
All right. Do you participate as a judge in any way in them or no because of your student?
I never have. I've
Um,
never adjudicated. I've never judged. I've never pursued that. I don't
yeah.
know why. I don't, but I
That's
never did.
I'm just curious because I've run into some people who either their wife was judging or they were like, "Oh, I can't. I have a conflict of interest. I'm judging on that weekend." I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of interesting for me." I it pops up often and I don't know much about it, so that's why that was a me question. Now, okay, so now you get this part. Someone asked this already. Will we see you more? So we've only seen episode 2 because they blessed us with 2 episodes at one time last Thursday. We will get to see episode 3 tomorrow. So in episode 2 is why I was like so excited. It was a fantastic fantastic scene to open with. And it was what? Girl Gang, right? Oh my gosh. And it reminded me a lot of Bye Bye Birdie, the way they did the cinematography of it, how it came across the screen. Now, will we see you in more throughout the season, or is that your big hurrah?
Maybe,
Oh,
maybe not.
maybe. Okay. Okay. All right. We're curious. Okay, that's fine. So I wanted to real quick add back to here. So I think everybody knows what these are. So the opens up with all these four phones. They're different phones ringing, which cracks me up. Look at that wallpaper. The set is amazing. And I
Yeah,
wanted to talk about the set where the four of you, or well, five of you moms come in and you're dancing and sing. I'm like, how long? Look at this. This is, look at yours. Look at your gorgeous clothing and all
oh
the
yeah.
little pieces behind it. How long did this scene take to do?
This had multiple layers to it. We had
Yes.
vocal rehearsal. First, we had to go to the studio and just lay down the tracks and lay down the
Okay.
song. And then we had rehearsal in the warehouse, just going over the choreography and with the dance team. And that was a lot, but it was
Mhm.
fantastic. Everything was fun. There's nothing that wasn't fun. There was no part
Yeah.
of this process that was not fun. Everything was amazing. But then, okay, so then we learned the choreography, practiced the choreography, and then they transferred us over to the set, which is a 60-foot long moving stage. And everyone had little vignettes along the stage. And
Yes.
so they
Yes.
initially, so each one of those is side by side. Each one of those vignettes is stationed side by side. And then they had a camera on a dolly. And so we would, when it came to the dance number afterwards, we all joined together. It was, as you see, we all joined together through the vignettes, and then we're all dancing together. And then it opens up in the back and splits, and then the lighting changes, and the phone, and then we do the phone chord choreography, and
I
it was
know.
a lot.
It was
What
a
amazing!
masterpiece. It really was. The whoever the team that put that together, besides those of you that are performing it, were like, it was amazing. I thought, "Oh my gosh." It made me very, it was actually for episode 2, it was my favorite scene. I loved it. And I'm like, "I have to find these girls. I want them to chat and tell us about this. This is amazing." Now, what I thought was hilarious is how each of you had something funny going on as a mom. And you're rocking with the baby carriage with your foot, but then weren't you drinking out of a bottle, like a bottle of alcohol? Was that you?
Well, back in the day, if you wanted to have your baby sleep, then you would put
Oh,
a little whiskey in the bottle,
mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm doing. I'm putting a little whiskey in the bottle, a little whiskey for the baby, a little whiskey for me. And so that was the
Yeah.
whole idea. She was exhausted, and she's just like, go to sleep. And so it's
It,
it's
it-
lovely that everybody had their own little thing going on, and then their
yes.
little clues and stuff for the audience to figure out
Yes.
and discover. And so it was just the fun. If you go back though, really listen to the lyrics, because the lyrics are salacious. They are just kind of shocking. And so
Well,
they go by so fast that if you don't have the subtitles on, then you might miss some real great nuggets in there. So if you get a chance, go back,
subtitle.
listen to the lyrics, and
Yes. I have multiple times. Somebody the other day asked this, I think when Callie was on, and I said, put the subtitle on, exactly what you just said, because then after, because you don't want to be, I didn't want to do it at first. I want to pay attention and see what I can see, and I go back again. And then, like a third or fourth time, I put on the subtitles so I can read them and make sure I'm listening to what's being said. And then you appreciate it differently. Like you look at it with different eyes. It's
yeah.
like a masterpiece. It really is. I know I keep saying that, but for me, it was extremely entertaining. And you girls, keep saying you girls, you moms, whatever, you were beautiful. Now, how about the costume? I'm thinking to myself, it had Quinlan and all kinds of pieces. One of you was pregnant, but I'm thinking you had to jump around and dance in that.
Oh
Like,
yes, and it was very heavy. It was quite awkward, and she had never been pregnant, so all of a sudden she's got this weight here, and she was like, "What's happening?" And so it was kind of fun for me to go, "That's what it's like." So that was
yeah,
kind of fun. And
yeah.
when we got to try on all these different costumes,
Hmm.
one of the things that we do is we flip over and we show our butts, and these butts. And so I wanted to make sure my butt was covered. And
Yeah.
so I said to the costume artist, I want to put a little bit more crinoline in there or cover what's
Yeah.
going on or something.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
she did. And so then it was fine. Because you have a lot going on. There's a lot going on. But my favorite part of that costume actually is the hair topper. So they gave me this Audrey Hepburn little hair piece to go
Yes.
on top, and that was my favorite part of all because
Yeah.
I've never had short bangs,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
thought that was great.
It's beautiful. How did I think Callie told us that in certain parts of the costumes they had these things sewn in to absorb your sweat.
some of some of them do. I didn't have that, but
Okay.
some of them do.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it, love it. Do you have something in your whole experience with the show that's like wows you? Like, and it doesn't have to be about you yourself, just the show in general. Where do you find the wow factor to be?
Um, there is a crew of dancers. They're called the Skeleton Crew,
Okay.
and they learn every single number, and then they demonstrate it to the actors. So these these dancers are phenomenal, and they're like the secret magic behind all these numbers. So
Hmm.
when you go in, you think, all right, someone's gonna help show me, what the moves are. They put the song on, and we get a full show of exactly what's supposed to happen from beginning to
Oh,
end with these dancers. So it's called a Skeleton Crew, and they are basically us. And so we each had somebody who was dedicated to us to teach us exactly what it was. We could ask anybody if we had any questions, but they were there just to back us up and help us out. And if Louise or Jamal or somebody was not available, they would be there to help answer our
yeah.
questions. They knew everything, and that floored me. That absolutely floored me. How together and clean they already were. I was like, did you guys just learn this? How do you know this so well already? They were that's what really floored me.
Well, and actually that says a lot because that's what you do, and so you appreciated it even more. I'm like, that wows me. I'm like, I think they're like when people do things like that, they're a genius. You know what I mean? That's a genius in their subject area. You don't have to just be a genius because you're a mathematician. They're a genius, and their memories must be phenomenal. And then and the energy, the level of energy. I don't have that level.
I think that when you're really excited, I'll give you an example. If I
Okay.
just told you you have won $5 million,
Oh
but you need
gosh.
to do that right now, you'll have some energy to go pick that up.
Okay. All right. All
So
right.
what you're motivated, like what are you motivated by? If this motivates you, you're gonna have lots of energy. Like
Oh
so,
my
and this
gosh.
motivated.
So, if you had to choose a character, like one of the Pink Ladies, there's usually four, and there's four this time around, but even including Grease 2 and Grease 1, who do you think would be? Who would you be?
I want to be Sandy.
I know. Everybody wants to be Sandy.
I want to be Sandy. I want to be Sandy. I want to sing like Olivia Newton-John.
Hmm.
I want to look like Michelle Pfeiffer. So
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna take that combo.
Okay. That's an amazing. You fit in that. You have the kind of features and stuff. You can do it. You could do it.
I take that.
Oh my goodness. There are some questions here that I wanted to share with what people are saying. And this question, we don't want it to be a spoiler, so I'm going to put it up here, but I'm going to say something about it first. Is Jen any particular mother or just a mother voicing her concerns? So more or less, you don't have to give away if you can't, but are you a mom to a particular character in the story or just a mom in general?
Just a mom in general.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I do know we get to see I think it's Susan's mom. We know that because Susan comes in on that scene. Okay. Tippy, I think, is her character name, even though she's amazing actress. She has done so much Hallmark stuff, it's like crazy. And I love seeing her in there. And her hair, oh my God, the whole thing was gorgeous. I loved it. And
I
this is
agree.
yeah, people showing you some love. It says the episode 2 opening number of The Moms is a really cute scene. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now that's all I kept hearing even before I was able to see it. Okay. Oh, here's a cool question. I think it's more about the actor and not necessarily the character. So the actor is Chris McNally and he plays Mr. Daniels, and they're wondering if your paths crossed in any way. Or do you even know who that is?
No, if they're not in the scene with you, you generally, unless they're rehearsing something at another
Mhm.
stage, but no, yeah, just moms. I just got mom action.
Got you. Christina says, the choreography in this show is spot on. I wonder if Jana helped in it. Did you help? Have any say?
Not specifically for the choreography where it's the group scene, but when we have our own individual bits, like putting my leg up on the
Yeah.
cradle and that type of thing, whatever we wanted to do there, that was us. But when it's all grouped together, no, not so much. It's the skeleton group comes in and they show you what you're gonna do, and so
Okay.
generally it sticks to that. Sometimes it changes a little bit, but generally not.
But that's cool. You when you had your own little specific spot, like you things that you would think of like, and that's cute, like putting your foot up and rocking the cradle with your foot, like you said, and that stood out to me. I thought that was hilarious.
Ah,
Cool.
thanks.
Not very nice. Okay. Oh, Martha wants to know, do you have any current projects, any kind? It doesn't have to be like in a movie that you can talk about, because sometimes you
I don't
can't.
want to talk about. I was gonna say I do, but that's all I can say.
Okay. And we're used to that.
Coming up, I do have some things coming.
All right. We'll be on the lookout. We'll look out for that. Um, this is a nice comment. I love the diversity of the roles you've had. Do you keep a picture casting catalog for yourself?
A picture casting catalog. I don't know what that is. You
So
could tell.
I guess all the different characters or roles that you've played, do you have like a headshot of some sort?
Ah, I have 1,000 pictures of everything that I do. I mean, of course, I have lots of memories and lots of random folders on my computer that I probably need to clean out. I'm a big photographer of everything. My son, it drives him crazy. I want to document every moment. So yes.
So, there's the IMDb and there's a professional one, but then there's a general one that people like this is what they like to reference and look up. And so, maybe Arlene, I'm speaking for you. It might be that they were looking at trying to find pictures that would show things that you've done, that kind of stuff. So, you
I
might want
see
to add to
it. Thank you.
it. They really captured the desperate housewives' feelings of the 1950s, feeling it in that scene so awesome. Bravo. They're just showing you love.
Thank you,
And
Arlene.
do you get to keep the costume? Any part of it?
The under stuff, we can often keep the under stuff because I don't think I want to share that with anybody else. But the costume itself, no, for continuity reasons.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So, all right. So when you say the understuff, like all the crinlinly, all that kind of stuff,
No,
no.
closer to the body stuff.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Who cares about
Yeah.
that stuff, right? I like all the fancy smancy. I think someone was saying that they even had these custom made sweaters for some people, and I was like, really? I mean, that's pretty amazing. So now, have you been watching? Have you been watching the
Yes.
episodes? Yes,
Yes. Of course.
yes, and
They're fantastic.
okay, and does your family watch with you?
Well, my son's. Oh, I suppose he could watch it. He just turned 8. He's very much
Oh,
into Marvel, so I'm not
yeah,
sure if he
yeah.
wanted to. He's usually in bed by the time it
Okay,
comes on.
I
But
know.
my husband watches it and he loves it too.
He gets to see you. I love it. And your students, I'm still amazed. I just think their students are probably so excited that you're on their screen, their TV. Wait a minute, how old are your students? I was just thinking of that. Some of the stuff they might not
Uh,
be able to see.
no, they're teenagers.
Okay, all right, good.
I think the youngest is maybe 9 or 10,
Mm.
and my oldest is 16, 17.
Oh, nice. Oh, well, this has been lovely. Thank you for filling in all the details, because when we get to talk to the people that are actually in the scene, it makes it, come alive for us. It makes us want to go back and watch it more.
Right? Yeah.
And we'll be looking out for anything new that you're doing, although you can't talk about it. We'll look.
Great.
All right. We can say goodbye here, and then just give me a minute to say goodbye behind in the studio.
Sure. Thanks.
They're saying thank you. Martha's saying thank you. It was amazing.
Aw.
Good night or good afternoon, everyone.
Bye.